It's been 195 days since the last episode. Oh my God, that is really a long wait. Maitreya, do you think people remember us? Hope so they should. Hi, I'm Chiranandan Srinath, your host. Joining me is my co-host Maitreya. Unfortunately, Vijay Lokapalli sir couldn't join us today. You're listening to the Atomik Cricket Podcast, and we are going to do some gossip on the IPL. Over to you, Maitreya. Talk about this year's IPL and how are you enjoying this?
Well, IPL is always phenomenal. And like talking about IPL, you see, this year we have heard news it's going to be Dhoni's last, maybe. And then that made it more fun, because I'm Dhoni fan and CSK fan, so it made it more personal for me, this IPL. And then there's a lot of like enjoyment also, if you see. We were in the hostel for some part of the time and watching it together, fighting with people, which team they support, having those kind of some rivalries with them. That makes it all the more interesting. And then uh, the addition of two new teams from last year, it has made things actually, if you see, more competitive, because this year the table is also more very like everyone has a chance to go to the playoffs, so it made it more competitive. And this year it's like a whole new experience, because last year, we were having board exams with the IPL and it was coinciding, so we couldn't enjoy it that much. But this year we are ready, because we just finished our 11th standard, and it's free kind of. We watch it with our friends. Now we are able to watch it in our home and with a free mind. So I guess this IPL is just different from the last few IPLs.
Exactly, and I will add some points here. We have seen a lot of drama, a lot of animation, emotion. We have seen 126 and 130 being defended. At the same time, we are seeing 200 plus totals being chased. Cricket is getting more competitive, especially the T20 format. You no longer can relax if you have 200 on the board, because that might not be enough. In that perspective, can you add some points like how IPL is turning out to be? You've seen RCB LSJ match, then the Gujarat Titans Mumbai Indians. Uh, you know Mumbai Indians hitting 200 plus totals and chasing and winning in Wankhede, in Lucknow, all that. Can you talk about this?
Yeah, well, if you see this IPL, the batting and the bowling, the quality has improved a lot. So if you see the batting, each over counts, like each ball counts nowadays. Like each six, it makes a lot of difference. And the fielding also, the quality of fielding has improved a lot. So even if you save 2 runs in the end, it matters. And the bowling, if you see every over, if one over goes wrong, it's going to be a match changing thing, because uh, people are like each over they're hitting 30 runs. Sometimes you saw Rinku Singh, that just 1 over. Who expected, someone like Rinku Singh? We didn't expect something like that. And we knew, yes, there maybe he could defend maybe 30, 35 runs, 34 runs were left. So he could easily defend it. But come on, this man just hit it in the last over. So I feel the quality of the bowling, the quality of the batting, and it doesn't matter what the names are. It's not like we have to be careful against some big star, or like maybe Maxwell is batting or this guy is batting. No, every important, like every small person may be Rinku Singh. Who expected someone to be scared of Rinku Singh now? And now Rinku Singh has done it. So like that, anyone. So any team, any bowler, even a bowler is able to bat nowadays. So I feel the three things, the fielding, batting, and bowling have improved a lot. Everyone expects top class from every player, be it a domestic player or be it normal player. So that I think impacts the whole game this year. It changes from the last few years, and we are back to that home and away format. So that gives the home advantage for all the teams. And stadiums like Wankhede Stadium or Chinnaswamy Stadium, they are like very good for batting, and bowlers have to be really careful, and batsmen have to always look out for
Hmm.
hitting shots. So I think these different types of pitches, last year we had just had Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah. We just had three stadiums, but now it's variety of stadiums, different pitches, different conditions. Some stadiums bowlers will benefit, some stadiums the batsmen benefit. So it's like we require all-round performance from both of them to keep the team alive. and we have seen many close matches, as you've said, like CSK LSG, the first time they met, just 12 runs. And then we have seen Gujarat and Kolkata, how Rinku Singh finished it in just that one very bad over, just turned the whole game away. And then we have seen Mumbai Indians chasing down 200. So all of this is, I know, previously it wasn't possible, anyone who hit 200, they would just sit back and relax. But now times have changed, I guess.
Let's not go back. Old matches. Recently, just yesterday, where our Varun Chakravarti defended 9 runs in the last over. That was surprising. And this is what this year's IPL is about. Okay, we'll move on. We'll talk about the Gautam Gambhir and Virat Kohli saga. I mean, from sharing the Man of the Match award to abusing, both of them have come a very long way. As an RCB fan, I like that. I like the banter. I like the revenge. I like the celebration. But the moment you see it from a perspective of a mature cricket fan, you're done with it. You don't want to see two seniors fighting and abusing on the field. Uh, you know, they influence a lot of youngsters. So, what is your take on this?
Gambhir and Virat Kohli both are like one of India's the top players, and like seeing like not just from a fan point of view, but if you see from cricket enthusiast, you look at the game's finest players and they're fighting over some. I guess I feel it's a petty issue because they're the world's top class players. They have played in the 2011 World Cup together. They have won it together. Gambhir being the senior player should have, I feel, more maturity because, like, from what I saw, my point of view, I feel Virat was trying to, somehow close it, but Gambhir just didn't want it. He was trying to still back his player. That the only sad part of IPL, I feel, is they create this kind of rivalries between Indians or between some players because of the team they are in. Like, they're an opposite team. So I guess that's the only thing that shouldn't happen because it should be more connected because you see overseas players come, Indians players, we mingle together and they should actually create more harmony amongst players, but it should not create rivalries among the same teammates, internationally. So I guess I'll be very sad, as such a thing happening. But from some point of view, I feel it's interesting, like some hot topic this week like that. It'll look nice for some point of time, but it should not continue. Like the same thing, Ganguly and Virat Kohli also something has happened, and they're not speaking to each other. They unfollowed themselves on Twitter, Instagram. So we would not expect senior players and the like senior players among Indians to do this. They should set an example for all of us. So I hope these issues resolve quickly.
Exactly. Now let's come to your MSD, Dhoni to Morrison. You've decided it's my last. When is this guy getting old? Year after year, he never fails to surprise CSK fans like you. How happy are you? You even mentioned it in the, starting of this show. But how happy are you to see, Dhoni telling that it might not be his last year for playing IPL?
Well, I was really like I couldn't just because this IPL I've always thinking Dhoni's 41 now and it will be his last and the way but the way he's playing wicket keeping batting like it's totally different. 2020 season was a disaster. His batting form was very not that good. People criticized him, your time is over. Then 2021 he tried something, some matches he hit, but still his form was not up to the mark. But now just few balls is coming, just two, three balls, and is making a huge difference there. So I feel from player point of view, he's playing, his batting, his wicket keeping, his captaincy, his time is not over. But if you see, you cannot just take these things in consideration. He's been playing from 2004, 2005, and it's a long time, for somebody like that to keep playing. You see any other player like Yuvraj Singh, Sehwag, or Gambhir, they have all retired. They've taken up either as commentators or as coaches. But Dhoni is still playing. I feel for his fans and I don't know other reasons. But I feel whatever he's doing is great. But his body might not be able to withstand, this much stress, playing the game for these many years. And already he's battling an injury and playing. So all these factors, when I look at it, like I feel it might be his last year. But when he said something, Dhoni is the man, he just keeps everyone guessing till the last moment and he can change the decision at any time. So when he said that, I just felt so happy because uh, one more year we'll get to see Dhoni. That's the craziest thing because now Jadeja, if you see, as a captain, he has failed. And then Ben Stokes is injured. So who will be the next captain? Some are saying it's Rahane. So I feel in this like confusion that's going on, if Dhoni stays for one more year, it will help the franchise. CSK will benefit a lot. Like the stability will be maintained. So that's what. So I'm really happy that Dhoni is staying back. Like that's my point of view. I don't know what will be.
Right. So let's move on and talk about the points table. The points table isn't fair because every team is having points. But what matters is that little net run rate. You have GT on the top, 12 points from 9 matches. Then you got LSG, yeah, DC at the bottom. Even if DC can pull off the remaining matches, they can still make it to the playoffs. So it's very close, and that's what is making this IPL 2023 more interesting, right?
Yeah, if you see, the points table is one of the like the closest thing in the table right now. See, the top the top GT is with 12 points, and then second and third LSG and CSK with 11 points, and then fourth RR is with 10 points, fifth RCB also at 10 points, sixth Mumbai also at 10 points, and Punjab also at 10 points. So looking at this, you see how tough it is. The competition is like cutthroat competition this year because the matches, everyone has not been winning, and it's been a narrow win or narrow loss for many of the matches. And the run rate is one of the very important things I see because that's what is keeping the top four as a top four. If you see the fourth spot can be taken by four teams: RR, RCB, Mumbai, and Punjab. The four are in contention for the fourth spot, but it goes to RR because of the net run rate. So I feel the net run rate has become the next important thing, for qualifying, apart from the points, because this year the two teams that have come have made it much difficult, more competition, as I've said earlier. So I feel this is making the net run rate a very important player because previously I didn't feel net run rate was such a issue because by the halfway stage you would know who's out of the IPL, who is into the IPL. But now DC, like as you said, they win all their matches, they can still go to the top four. So I feel this is great actually. It'll all the teams can have their hopes, all the fans can have their hopes because previously we used to think, yeah, this year IPL over for us. We don't know, we won't qualify. But now even DC guys can tell they'll qualify. Even SRH can tell they will qualify. So such a thing is a good thing for the fans. Optimistic approach for the team also when they play the remaining matches. They won't play it as a warm up for the next season. Instead, they play it with a more competitive spirit, and that's what will keep the matches more thrilling and more exciting to see. So the points table this year is just awesome. Today's match also it will change. I don't know. It's GT versus RR today, and if GT loses and RR gets a 2 points, they will go on the top. So everything, you know.
Yeah. So let's talk about the orange cap and the purple cap. We have the orange cap leaderboard, RCB captain Faf du Plessis with 466 runs. Then you have Jaiswal Jalsa at 428 runs. You have CSK opener Conway with 414. The purple cap Shami with 17, Deshpande with 17, Ashdeep with 16. No, talking about the purple cap, we have seen pacers take more wickets than spinners, which is very contrasting to last year's, where spinners dominated. If you remember, Chahal, Asaranga, they were the purple cap holders, their highest wicket takers in last year's edition of IPL. This year is a bit different. Your take on, or your say on this orange and purple cap, you're seeing Siraj do well, Shami do well. It's a positive sign for us in the WTC final, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously, this year I feel the Pacers have a like more thing to take the wickets because either the like if you see Mohammad Shami, I feel Ahmedabad pitch is more into for the Pacers, and like the Pacers in the power play, they're making very good use of the swing. I feel this year, and like Tushar Deshpande, if you see. his economy is not so good, 10.77, but he's the joint holder of the purple cap. He's got 17 wickets. So the thing is, I feel the batsmen this year, they're not playing, just defensively, safely. Every batsman wants to go for the shot, every ball. It's not like we go in the last 4 overs. No, every over counts. So the batsmen, when they change their approach, the bowler's approach also has changed. Either we try to deceive the batsman, and when he goes for a shot, make him bold, with the swing, or sometimes the catch near the boundaries. So I feel either they get hit for a six or they go for a wicket. That's how, Deshpande or Arshdeep Singh, his economy is 9.8. And then, but Shami is a different type of bowler. His economy is just 7.05. He's been bowling the death overs, he's been bowling in the beginning. So Shami is like the experienced guy, the way he bowls and all that. The swing he's able to maintain, the death overs he's able to maintain. I feel that's a very big asset for the WTC finals, as you've said. And then coming to the orange cap, Faf is just phenomenal. You know, whenever I look at Faf batting, it just creates some kind of joy. 466 runs, his average is 58. So that's just awesome. And then Yashasvi Jaiswal, I never thought at the beginning of the season he would do that well, but he just proved phenomenal. 428 runs, and then Conway, he's just superb. Virat Kohli 364 in 9 matches. So again, Virat Kohli here, his average is 45, and then Gaikwad 354 runs. So as I've said, all these batsmen are either the openers or one down. So all these five openers. So I feel this year the opening lot, when they're giving a good start, because that's how the teams are getting 200s and all. So these are the openers who are doing it, and that's how they're on the orange cap list. They're on the top because they've been consistently hitting 50s, or some of them have hit 90s, 100. So the bowlers also, they have tried their best. If you see Mohammad Shami, Deshpande, Arshdeep Singh, Siraj, these four of them are power play bowlers. So they have tried to take wickets constantly. So the bowlers and the batsmen are doing their best, and that's what I feel is making this IPL one of the tightest IPL, one of the most thrilling IPLs, both bowling and batting wise.
Yeah, let's not forget Ishant Sharma. Maybe he's not, among the top wicket takers in this year's IPL, but he's been doing well. Is using all his experience for Delhi Capitals. He's pulled off a couple of matches for them. So I'm very happy for Ishant Sharma. So moving on, we'll talk about the new rules that came in this year's IPL, the impact player rule and the DRS on wides and no balls. I will give my take on this, and then you give yours next. The impact player rule, it is quite interesting, but I'm not a big fan of it. It'll drop down all rounders in India, and if you see in international cricket for in the Indian cricket team, uh, f- 2 3 years ago we were struggling for all rounders when Jaddu and Hardik were injured, right? So the impact player rule will actually worsen things for us. And the DRS on wides and no balls, I think it's just waste of time. You're actually wasting time, and then you're penalizing the fielding team for wasting time, the slow over rate and all the stuff. But actually, it's when you take a DRS on wide or a no ball, as silly things as that, you're actually not respecting the on-field umpire's decision. Yeah, maybe sometimes wrong decisions by on-field umpires can cost you a match or a two, but actually is standing for what you need to respect his decisions. Otherwise, everything can be given to the third umpire. You don't need an on-field umpire. Everything displayed on the screen. So I don't like this DRS on wides and no balls. Your take on these two new rules?
Yeah, so actually, impact player rule, as you said, it impacts the all-rounders, the all-rounder growth. See, I read an article once, it came in newspaper some days back. It came out Venkatesh Iyer. So Venkatesh Iyer, it seems he had done a lot of work to be a good all-rounder. He can bowl, he can bat. But, people are got this impact player rule. His team has impacted him, just using him for batting, and then he's not bowling or fielding. So that actually, impacts his kind of growth. He wants to come to the Indian team as an all-rounder. But the place to show himself as an all-rounder is IPL. Because people look at the IPL now more than domestic cricket. And then and the IPL is not able to perform what he wants to do. He's not given the chance to perform. So I feel that's the one big drawback of this rule. But if you come to see competitively, I feel it makes the game more thrilling because you didn't use the impact player and you're chasing and you need like about 50 runs in some 30 balls, and then you're like about 7 wickets down, and then you bring in a batsman, impact player, that changes the whole game, right? So, at one way, if you see it, the bowlers, the other teams, their efforts are gone waste in taking 7 wickets, and then trying to relax. But in the other way, it makes the game more thrilling. To the last ball, the team have to fight for the win. So, that competitive spirit, it's interesting only for the IPL. But if you see internationally, it impacts India's that all-rounder confusion, as you have said, which has been there for many years. And then coming to the uh, coming to the other things, you see. So
Yeah, the dearest and whites. Okay, you don't want to answer that. We'll move ahead. The WTC final on 7th June. So we'll be here to cover that as well. So we have our squad ready. Shami and Siraj are already doing well in this IPL. And Rahane is back, back in form. Is his strike rate is 183 or something like that. And then last time we bore down to New Zealand. I don't think this time we're giving up, against Australia. Also, we are the number one test team in the recent annual rankings by the ICC. So it should be a moral booster for us, to going forward into this WTC final. And I think we should be winning this. Your take on WTC final?
yeah, so the WTC final is like the last 10 years, the major final. Again, we'll come back to this final again. So the last time we won an ICC event was in 2013, and here we are in 2023. So 10 years without an ICC event. So India's gone, to the semifinals, 2015 World Cup semifinals, 2017 Champions Trophy finals, then T20 World Cup semifinals in 2016. So we have gone through enough heartbreaks. 2019 World Cup was one of the biggest heartbreak for me. So all these things have gone by. 10 years have passed, and still we haven't got an ICC. We have not won an ICC event, in 10 years. So it's really a heartbreak. But this time we have to win it. And I see the players are
And
all.
don't forget the World Cup as well.
Yes, yes, yes. The World Cup. It's in India this time, and India has to win it because home condition. The last time it was in India, India has won it. So I feel India should make the most of it. So coming to the World Test Championship, I feel just one match. India has played phenomenally, throughout the Test series, throughout the year. And I feel just this one match, if we perform, take the pressure out and just play it as a normal Test match. And India, I feel, can do wonders. Rahane is back into the side after this extraordinary IPL performance and all that. So I feel if we win this, it'll be a moral booster for us to the World Cup, because again the World Cup, the last series we have played, ODI series, I forgot against which team, we have lost it, before IPL. So that's again uh, giving questions, to the management as to how the team will perform. But if we win this World Test Championship finals, it give us more confidence, and through the coming World Cup, I feel with this win we can play more nicely. So we have to win this one. I feel 2023 should be India's year to win all the things that we have not won in the last 10 years.
Rightly said. So we'll wind up for today's show, a short and sweet episode. We have done this after 185 days. So I'm happy. Thanks, Maitreya, for coming. And we'll have Vijay Lokapalli sir in the next episode. So stay tuned to the Atom Bay Cricket Podcast.